undigested matama and grass there were found 25 short, thick, white worms, sticking like leeches into the coating of the stomach, while the intestines were almost alive with the number of long, white worms. I was satisfied that neither man nor beast could long exist with such a mass of corrupting life within him. In order that the dead carcass might not taint the valley, I had it buried deep in the ground, about a score of yards from the encampment. From such a slight cause ensued a tremendous uproar from Kingaru, chief of the village, who, with his brother chiefs of the neighbouring villages, numbering in the aggregate 24 wattled huts, had taken counsel upon the best means of mulcting the Musungu of a full doti, or 2 of Merikani, and finally had arrived at the conviction that the act of burying a dead horse in their soil without "by your leave, sir," was a grievous and finable fault. Affecting great indignation at the unpardonable omission, he, Kingaru, concluded to send the Musungu 4 of his young men to say to him that, "Since you have buried your horse in my ground, it is well. Let him remain there, but you must pay me 2 doti of Merikani." For reply the messengers were told to say to the chief that I would prefer talking the matter over with himself face to face, if he would condescend to visit me in my tent once again, as the village was but a stone's throw from our encampment. Before many minutes had elapsed, the wrinkled elder made his appearance at the door of my tent, with about half the village behind him. The following dialogue which took place will serve to illustrate the tempers of the people with whom I was about to have a year's trading intercourse. White man: "Are you the great chief of the Kingaru?" Kingaru: yes." White man: "The great chief?" Kingaru: yes." White man: "How many soldiers have you?" Kingaru: "Why?" White man: "How many fighting men have you?" Kingaru: "None." White man: "Oh, I thought you might have 1,000 men with you, by your going to fine a strong white man, who has plenty of guns and soldiers, 2 doti for burying a dead horse." Kingaru, rather perplexed: "No, I have no soldiers, I have only a few young men." White man: "Why do you come and make trouble, then?" Kingaru: "It was not I, it was my brothers who said to me, 'Come here, Kingaru, see what the white man has done. He has not taken possession of your soil, in that he has put his horse into your ground without your permission. Come, go to him, and see by what right. Therefore have I come to ask you, who gave you permission to use my soil for a burying ground?" White man: "I want no man's permission to do what is right. My horse died. Had I left him to fester and stink in your valley, sickness would visit your village, your water would become unwholesome, and caravans would not stop here for trade. For they would say, 'This is an unlucky spot, let us go away.' But enough said. I understand you to say that you do not want him buried in your ground. The error I have fallen into is easily put right. This minute my soldiers shall dig him out again, and cover up the soil as it was before, and the horse shall be left where he died." Then shouting to Bombay, "Ho, Bombay, take soldiers with jembes to dig my horse out of the ground, drag him to where he died, and make everything ready for a march to morrow morning." Kingaru, his voice considerably higher, and his head moving to and fro with emotion, cries out, "Akwana, Akwana, Bana! No, no, master. Let not the white man get angry. The horse is dead, and now lies buried. Let him remain so, since he is already there, and let us be friends again." The Sheikh of Kingaru being thus brought to his senses, we bid each other the friendly Kwaheri, and I was left alone to ruminate over my loss. Barely half an hour had elapsed, it was 9 p.m., the camp was in a semi-doze, when I heard deep groans issuing from one of the animals. Upon inquiry as to what animal was suffering, I was surprised to hear that it was my bay horse. With the bull's eye lantern I visited him, and perceived that the pain was located in the stomach. but whether it was from some poisonous plant he had eaten while out grazing, or from some equine disease, I did not know. He discharged copious quantities of loose matter, but there was nothing peculiar in its colour. The pain was evidently very great, for his struggles were very violent. I was up all night, hoping that it was but a temporary effect of some strange and noxious plant. But at 6 o'clock the next morning, after a short period of great agony, he also died, exactly 15 hours after his companion. When the stomach was opened, it was found that death was caused by the internal rupture of a large cancer, which had affected the larger half of the coating of his stomach, and had extended an inch or two up the larynx. The contents of the stomach and intestines were deluged with the yellow viscous efflux from the cancer. I was thus deprived of both my horses, and that within the short space of 15 hours. With my limited knowledge of veterinary science, however, strengthened by the actual and positive proofs obtained by the dissection of the two stomachs, I can scarcely state that horses can live to reach Unyanyembe, or that they can travel with ease through this part of East Africa. But should I have occasion at some future day, I should not hesitate to take 4 horses with me, though I should certainly endeavour to ascertain previous to purchase whether they were perfectly sound and healthy, and to those travellers who cherish a good horse, I would say, try one, and be not discouraged by my unfortunate experiences. Chapter 5 Part 2